Hello and welcome. My name is Faith Mai, and this is The Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV.
The labor force participation in Nigeria is currently rated 53.41%. Getting a job in Nigeria is not an easy task, as employers expect prospective employees to have quality years of experience, while people are also faced with graduating from school due to strike and other unforeseen circumstances. When they also come out, there's a battle of who knows who to get well-paying jobs. Just recently, the management of the Bureau appeared before the House of Committee in Public Procurement for 2021 Budget Defense, where a member, Mr. Nicholas Osai, called the attention of the lawmakers to his discovery on the Bureau's nominal role, asking the Director General, Mahamadu, to explain the irregularity. Osai said on personnel, a female staff of the Bureau named Lantewa Fatsuma Lawal, the Deputy Director Accounts, with date of birth as January 8, 1966, received her first appointment on 15th of December 1992. That is 4 years before her date of birth. That's why this morning on the Breakfast Show, we're talking about age is not just a number in corporate Nigeria. Good morning, beauties.
Hello.
Okay, so let me begin by asking, which of us here, put your hand on your chest first. Tell me the truth. Which of us here, which one has ever increased or decreased your age just to get a job?
I'm still a spring chicken, so I haven't, but I've increased my age for other things.
Like?
Growing up, I was always the youngest of all my friends. I started school early, I skipped from primary 4, so I was always the youngest. So I always added 1 year to my age. So I'll be the same age as my friends. But now that I'm getting older, I'm telling them now, that thing I told you is not true. You senior me, dear. Try marry.
Joyce, so any of us here?
No. I haven't actually.
No reason at all?
No reason.
After school and university, I actually got a job after my service the next year, so I didn't have any reason to increase or
God's favor.
Reduce my age, you know. So
but we know that getting a job in Nigeria is not easy because you're faced with the age bracket thing, 25 to 35. Hopefully some people take 45.
Yeah.
But you're a normal graduate, let's put the normal graduate in Nigeria, leave school, let's say 25, 26, sometimes 27, and you're faced with NYC 1 year, and God helps you that there is no strike. For me, I experienced strike for 2 years in school.
Stop it right now.
2 years. Wow. 2 years, that was when we had that terrible long strike. I actually started doing school runs for people. I was supposed to be in 300 level, and I was still in 100 level as at then. Because of everything. So imagine maybe I'd gone far in age when I was in school. Getting a job would be difficult because that's already 2 years added to what we have. Then NYC is there 1 year. What do you think is the way forward?
Well, the way forward is far, it's long. There's so much that has to be done. First of all, the International Labour Organization has been doing their parts, trying to make sure that they reduce age discrimination in their member states. Age discrimination is when a person is stopped from getting a job
because
or an employee or a promotion or any other thing because of the age that they have. And it is immensely prevalent in Nigeria. And people let it slide. You see a bank say things like, we're open for the position of a cashier and you must be between the ages of 25 and 26.
I mean,
they don't even do 25 in banks. I mean, if you're 27 in a bank, you've probably finished being a cashier. You've already gone behind the counter. You're inside the main video. You're upstairs. But if you're going to start as an entry-level person in a bank, which is most likely a cashier or a customer service role, there's all you things like you have to be between the age of 22 and 26, and nobody even bats an eyelid. It's like, so it just did be and stuff like that. And let's say you want to work in federal government agencies. Previously, federal government agencies, to work there, you had to be between the ages of 22 and 28. And if you're not well connected, I mean, before you build your level of connection, you've got into 30.
That's why I said when you come out of school, you need, there's also a battle of who knows who. Who do I know now? Who can help us give me this job?
And then there's the NYSC. I mean,
let's compulsory.
Say for some reason you didn't start school on time or whatever happened, and then you hit 30 before you graduate. You cannot sell.
No, you can't.
So there's so much age discrimination in this country. And I think that things have to be done, but things have been done to a certain level. There's been a bill, I read about it and I decided to note it down so I can share it. Now, there's a bill officially known as the Bill for an Act to Eradicate the Age Discrimination against Job Seekers in the Federal Government Agencies and for Related Matters. This bill was sponsored by Sergius and Babajini Benson, prohibiting federal government ministries, agencies, and departments from discriminating against job seekers on the basis of their age. Now, prior to this bill, a job seeker above the age of 30 could not be gainfully employed as a federal government.
But it's sad.
About the bill?
No, the bill has been there. It's been there.
Even in this year, in July of this year, it was still raised in the House.
In the House.
Government
For lawmakers.
Something about age discrimination. Yes, in Nigeria.
So what effects does he have?
Well,
He has to pass through the various readings, but we are going to actually, look out for that to see where it's going to moving forward. Then let's talk about the rate of unemployment. You just mentioned 27.1% from 2006 to 2020, and the Nigerian government will constantly say we want to fight unemployment.
They've always been fighting
this clause of if you're above 30, you cannot serve and you cannot get a job. I think we are just moving in circles, because if this age barrier thing is broken, you would see that many people will have the opportunity to be employed. I don't think age should be a barrier when it has to do with employment, because if I tell you how old I am, no bank will take me. If TSL should put age barrier right now, I'm not sure they will employ me. But I think it's basically about what you can offer, what you can bring to the table. We should just leave this age thing aside. So when people now discover that I am already 30, there's no how I can get this job, you see people going to swear off their feet to drop their age, and at the end of the day, the CV will not even tally with the age. You see somebody finishing secondary school at age 3 or age 4, getting into the university from what we have on the CV, the years we have on the CV, the person got into the university at age 6. And all of these things will not be looked at, because if you're looking for a government job, I'm not sure they take out time to go through CV.
Applications are much. There's no time for that.
Private organizations that the HR would sit down and
even some private organizations don't do background checks.
Most don't do. From the age thing, the main issue is that there are no jobs in Nigeria. So I think that's a major issue.
But can we not also...
We have a lot of people graduating. And like half of the people graduating, let's say in 2015, about 251,000 people have formal jobs, like they have formal jobs with them, but we have about 250,000 people graduate each year. And as the year goes by, it's getting high. So like half percent
it's way higher than that.
Graduating have jobs. So that is why people actually increase their age.
Another way to look at this thing, from my opinion, I feel a lot of people go to school and graduate and are looking for jobs. Now you need to look at the area, your field of study, and what you studied in school. Now, I have a friend. We all went to school together. We all graduated. She's joining people to say there are no jobs. I'm working. Other friends are working. But she's saying there's no job. Nobody wants to employ me. Now, if you go back and check, she graduated with a 3rd class, first off. So she never shows up for interviews. She's always like, they
won't take me.
With this my 3rd class. So if you even give her a link or a post, she'll never even apply because she's already very scared. Now, people graduate. What are they graduating with? I'm more concerned about people who...
Employability.
I'm more concerned about people who are employable, not just people who are graduating. Because a lot of people graduate with
parents that already just studies that she's working in one of the banks.
Because she went ahead and she shot her shots.
To look for this job.
Because after that, when you get a job, you go for training too.
And I also think it's a tad unfair. I mean, I hate to be the human being alive that has chosen to slightly, even by mistake, defend the Nigerian government and all their inadequacies. Let's also look at greed. I shared a story on this set a while back about my mother and her friends having gone to NC, TC2, they decided to go to Open University so they could have degrees. These women were already in their 40s, and when it was time to apply for the job, their affidavit, they were 22, 23. a lot of them, the age that they put, they couldn't have born their first 5 children, at least.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to serve till the age of 65.
Before
now
retiring.
you're already 40-something. You've added 20 more years. So when you're going to retire, you're going to be around the age of 85. Can you serve?
Can you do that?
You can't do the job. You're going to be there being senile.
That's why I think also as a way of creating jobs for more people, the government should really invest in background checks. I think they should, because my parents alone should just at least give you that age balance. I was looking at the 50-something-year-old woman telling me you are 32. Mommy, meanwhile, you are 55. I mean,
well, let's also look at this part of age falsification. You know, our topic today is age is not just a number.
It's not just a number.
In Nigeria. But let's be factual. Is age not a factor at all? For example, a cashier position, you have to be young and agile. You're going to be moving around. A lot of them, like in a couple of banks that I know, they're standing in their cashier position. If you're 42, you might not be able to do that.
Looking sharp even.
And also, let's still keep it on the banking sector. A banking sector is a growth sector. If you start as a cashier, you're not going to be a cashier the entire time.
No, not at all.
But it takes a long time to grow within the banking sector. So before you go upstairs, you have to have gotten to a specific kind of age. They have to have observed you for a long time and seen that you're a credible person that can support and represent their firm. So is it not important that you have to be young for certain kind of
It's to an extent where you're coming from. It's almost close to being important, because anytime you go upstairs in the bank, you don't see your age mates there. They're mature people, like their aunties, their uncles there, because they've grown from the process. But my take on this still is that give people a shot, because I mean, we have other people who are not it.
There's also the case of remuneration. A lot of banks have been known to go for contract workers because they simply cannot pay a full service person. And then there's something called an entry-level position in the working sector. An entry-level position, you don't earn a lot.
No, you don't.
So people are really looking out for, okay, I'm about to pay somebody 60,000 naira to resume by 7 a.m. and close by 6 p.m. I cannot take somebody's husband. He has to pay house rent, has to pay school fees.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So the money that they are offering, they're looking for a person that doesn't have dependents.
Exactly.
So most times they are singles.
But funny enough, you know that.
You see situations where they ask you, are you
married?
If you say no, they're like,
Okay, fine.
Hope you're not getting married anytime soon. They tell you, pop and play.
Someone sent me a link. Someone sent me a link for a job opening at a grocery store in Delta State, and she said, oh, that she's looking for some. And I know a lady who is really competent, like she's good. She's good with handling customers and stuff like that. So I gave her the link. She went there. She drove her car there. And they look at her like, did you now? She drove her car and they look at her like, is that your car? She said, yes. Okay. So they went through her file and said, do you have a child? Said she's divorced. She has a daughter. They didn't take her.
There is a wide
because she's in her 40s, her late 30s. They didn't
There's a wide range of discriminatory problems in the Nigerian workspace.
That didn't matter.
There's a wide range of discriminatory problems in the Nigerian workspace, and it is going unchecked, which is interesting because it's happening in Nigeria. We have multinationals in this country that are putting these weird restrictions that cannot try it in the UK. So we have to fall back to the fact that a lot of these things are flying because we are in Nigeria.
True.
Because in standardized societies, you cannot. They even have things called diversity hires. A diversity hire is when you pick a person from a group that is disenfranchised. For example, you have an all-white firm, and you're saying, you know, let me just employ two black people, one black man, one black woman, and then you employ one old man so nobody can say you discriminate against age. Then if you have about 40%, 50% men, you have to have like 40%, 50% women. We don't even have diversity hires in Nigeria because nobody is going to ask you a question. If you go into an organization, or if you're a person that provides human capital or caters to human capital, you have to make sure that your workforce is touching each sector.
Balanced.
It's balanced.
It has to be
balanced.
But
we don't even have committees of firms or government organizations or even social or even public opinion.
But you know, we can never even have it.
We have a quota system in Nigeria where they...
That's all we have, but it's just for the north.
You know, where it's not just for the north.
And the Niger Delta.
It's an all-round thing.
I mean, I don't even want to speak about the quota system because I think the quota system is nonsense. Because the quota system does not take into cognizance competency.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that there is a position. First of all, there's something that a business is supposed to do. profitability. How do you get profitability? Competence. So you're telling me that you're going to overlook competent people that have worked so hard to get to where they were because there's a specific quota that undermines education that you have to fill.
Yes.
What happened to getting the job done?
I think getting the job done, yes. It's assumed that everybody should, go to school, get an education. So if they say we need 30% from the Southwest, they'll definitely get qualified persons of that 30% from the Southwest. I'm not sure they will just...
It's not functioning.
It's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. But at the end of the day, if they go to the Southwest and they don't find competent people, they just have to take anybody anyway. It's just
talking about.
One thing that affects businesses too and affects people getting employed and stuff like this, because most times when Nigerians open their firms, they look out for their cousins, their brother. My brother will fit do this job. Your brother
I don't think so. No, I think it's people with poor business acumen.
Exactly.
Because that's what I mentioned about, It's his brother who's the manager.
Poor business
acumen. Do you
acumen.
understand? Why should I employ you as my brother? I'm not doing that. But not, this is business. Do you understand?
I'll consider that. I'll consider that choice.
Do you understand?
I'll consider that choice.
I wouldn't want to mix business and family.
Private business owners.
I would not want to do it.
It's your own cup of tea if you want to mix business.
It's your business.
I won't do it.
So if you don't know that you run it, your business crumbles. It's your own cup of tea. We move on to the next person that is.
But people
just examples. Yeah, no, that's a major factor. No, who knows you? Because some persons from NYC already know that, my uncle, I know him, so I'm going to get that job. Some people are already confident that they're getting this particular job in this office when it's 2020. So they already know that that's settled.
But if you're competent, it's a good thing.
Most times, even if you're not competent, just shall be there and collect your salary.
Nepotism works. That's all I have to say. Well, to prevent us from going around in circles, we have identified not really all the problems. We've identified the several kinds of discriminations that Nigerians have to face in the work sector, from age to marital status,
gender, even.
So even skin color. We're not even going to go to colorism.
Let's not even touch. Let's not touch it.
The first question that you asked, and I think we should come back to that bait, is what can be done. First of all, there needs to be a total overhaul of the Nigerian Labour Act. It is.
I see.
What's the able I'm looking for? It's outdated. There's so many factors that have come into the Nigerian workspace that is not being taken into cognizance by the Labour Act that we have now. That is one. Two, you need to create a place where people can easily seek grievances. For example, if you're being discriminated for work, you have to seek grievance at the High Court. Why not the Magistrate Court? Why not smaller, closer organizations? So there needs to be a proper overhaul of the Nigerian Labour Act, and then we need to work on implementation, because it's one thing for you to be able to seek redress in court, but what is going to be done? Are you going to be paid for damages? Will they tell you that we'll look into it? Will they say, oh, let's settle out of court? And if they do, will it work for you? And then we need our organizations to work with, one, competency above age. Because if you even fire somebody today, there's 7 people that are going to get the job. Or if the person retires today, there's 7 people that have newer technologies, more competency, that will be able to take up that position. So I think that age is not a good factor to measure, even though I know that if the job does not specifically require, because of the workload or the physical activity, like athletes cannot be old. So if the job does not specifically require that you be a certain age, I think it is wrong to impose a certain age. And I think we need more stringent government policies for it.
Well, I really hope that, beginning with the bill that's already taken into cognizance, that they actually look into it. For me, I'm also going to say that people should also make themselves employable. That's the truth, because the opportunities flying every day, but because you're not just fit, you're not even interested, you're not even groomed. Do you understand? Beginning from NYS, we have other people who come do trainings and stuff. I took advantage of that, and it really helped me when I just came out from NYS, because I got a job owing with those trainings. So make yourself employable in today's Nigeria.
Because schools do not actually make people self-reliant, they make them job seekers.
That's such a wild generalization. There's so many schools that make people employable.
That's why most persons, they leave schools and they're just waiting for white-collar jobs. But I'm glad that things are beginning to turn
Fast
around,
changing.
because a lot of people are getting into skills now, because You know, most times when we leave school, we just feel we need to work. People are now trying to do things on their own. They are getting skills
out of the white collar space. Faith?
I think as we've talked about the government, we've talked about the employers, so about us, we the job seekers, we should actually look at what we are passionate about. So we will not go to a space and we feel that whatever we are bringing to the table is not valued. So if you're studying anything in school, look at the bigger picture. Don't go and just study anything. I'm not undermining any course, but just look at the bigger picture. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, will this be relevant on my table? Will this be relevant for me and stuff like that?
Fantastic. The Nigerian workspace is ever evolving, and the things are changing. Things are becoming more new. There's so many skills out there. So first of all, you need, like Faith said, you need to make yourself employable. But most importantly, organizations need to do away with all forms of job discrimination. This is 2020. You cannot put things like age or things that do not matter above competency, and employment rate is just way too high. Thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Show. My name is Joyce Chooks. It was exciting having you. We will be here again on Monday, giving you everything about everything. Do not forget to like and follow us on all of our socials, TSL Nigeria TV, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, TSL Nigeria Space TV. Have yourself a fantastic day and stay employable.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.